Hi guys, so today we're going to go over how to pronounce words ending in ed. So we use ed words can either one be words in the simple past, so things that happened, for example, yesterday, so the completed actions, or they can be adjectives ending in ed. For example, bored. I'm very bored. Estoy muy aburrido. So that's one example. But the thing is, with words ending in ed, there's three different ways of pronouncing them. First, you've got id, second, you've got t, and third, you've got d. So now the question lies in when do you pronounce different words with these different sounds? Well, luckily, we've got a couple of rules to help you with that. The first sound we're going to go over is the easiest, id. So, words that end in a D sound or a T sound, which then have an ED at the end, you pronounce as id. So an example of an ED ending word is needed. So it ends in D, and then the way you pronounce the ED is id. Another one is wanted. So that if the word ends in T or D, you pronounce the ED as id. So I wanted this, I needed this. So can you say it with me? Wanted, needed. Brilliant, you've got it. So the second type of way of pronouncing ed words is the t sound. So when you do this is when you have voiceless words in it. So these are things that you don't use your throat to pronounce. So these sort of sounds, our examples are P sounds, K sounds, sh sounds, ch sounds, g sounds, s sounds, x sounds, and x sounds. So now I'm going to go through some examples because they just kind of mean nothing to you, as I can imagine. So the first one's a p. So can you say help? So help, and then in the past tense, helped. Can you hear that sound? Helped. The second one we've got is k. So look. So to look, and then because it ends in a k sound, which is a voiceless sound, you then pair it with a T sound. So looked. I looked at you yesterday. That's an example. The next one we've got is the sh sound. So can you write this? Shh. So to be quiet, you can say shh to be quiet, but also an example with a sh sound is washed. I washed the dishes yesterday. The next one is a ch sound. Notice the difference between sh and ch. The ch sound is a lot more harsh and shorter. So an example of a ch sound is watch. So I watched a movie yesterday. So can you hear that? It's very strong. Can you say it with me? Watched. Do you hear that T sound? Watched. Okay, the next one we've got is the g sound. So can everyone say laughed? So it's spelled GH, but you go laugh. So it's kind of like an F-GH sound. It's one of the more difficult words to pronounce in the English language, but I'm sure you'll get it with a bit of practice. So can you say, I laughed? Laughed. Are you getting it slightly? I'm sure you are. Okay, next we've got the th sound, as in the. But an example with an ED word is breathe. So to breathe, respirar, or I breathed. Can you say breathed? Okay. The next one is the s sound, like a snake. So for example is kiss. And you pair that with a T sound to say kissed. So kissed. Can you say that with me? Brilliant. Okay, we've got two left. First of all, we've got the C sound. So you can say dance, and then in the past tense, danced. Do you hear that? Danced. Right? And then our last one is the X sound. So to fix and fixed. Can you say that with me? Fixed. Doing great. So now moving on to the third type of pronunciation, the D sounds. So when you pair the D sounds with the endings of words, these are all sounds that are made in your throat. So can you put your hand on your throat like this and say these sounds with me? L, N, R, G, V, S, W, Y, and z. If you notice, if you hand on your throat, you can feel your throat vibrating because these are all sounds made in your throat. So a trick to remembering when to use the d ending is if the word is made in your throat, not in your mouth. So all the words ending in t that we just discussed are all sounds made in your mouth or your teeth, whereas these sounds are all made in your throat. So the first one we've got is l, called. So if you keep your hand on your throat, you can feel it, called. So I called the doctors. So you pronounce it with a D sound. I called. Okay, the next one is the N sound, clean. So to clean, I cleaned. Do you hear that D sound? I cleaned. The next one we've got is the R, offered. Can you say it with me? Offered. Offered. I was offered a great job, okay? The next one is a J sound, damaged. I was damaged. The next one we've got is the V sound, loved. You'll hear this often in lots of songs. So you often will hear the line, I loved her a lot. You say loved, loved. Next we've got the S sound. So can you say use, and used. I used that book yesterday. Can you say it with me? Used. Next we've got the W sound, follow, followed. Can you say it with me? Followed. Our penultimate word is the Y sound. So can you say enjoy, enjoyed, enjoyed. I enjoyed that movie yesterday. The last one is the Z sound, like a zebra. So can you say amaze, amaze? I was amazed yesterday. You say it with me? Amazed. And there you go. Those are 3 different types of pronouncing ED words. So remember, ED words can either be verbs that are being conjugated into the simple past or they're adjectives. Hope this helps.